coming to the 6 furlong marker now, and still Caliban making it from Hogarth. Carabas has run round the outside of Blakeney, then comes Nijinsky and then Krepelana. They're past the 6 and coming to the 5 marker now, and it's still Caliban in the lead from Hogarth, then Carabas, then Blakeney, then Nijinsky in 5th place, then Krepelana, who is 6, and they're past the 5 marker now, and it's still Caliban for England from Hogarth for Italy. Then comes Carabas on the outside of Blakeney, and then Nijinsky poised just in behind him, and Krepelana is last of the 6, and they're past the 4 marker now, and it's still Caliban, Sandy Barclay from Hogarth. Bill Williamson running round the outside of Hogarth on Carabas. Then comes Jeff Lewis chasing Blakeney along, and then Lester Piggott taking closer order on Nijinsky, and finally Krepelana, and they're swinging round the home straight now, with Caliban being pressed by Carabas. Hogarth in between these two. Nijinsky's just in behind Carabas. Blakeney's over on the far rails. Krepelana's beginning a run, and it's Caliban over on the far side being pressed by Carabas, and here comes Nijinsky and Lester Piggott towards the stand side, with Hogarth making ground over on the far side now. They're coming into the final furlong, and it's Nijinsky striding away from him. Nijinsky going away, being chased by Blakeney now. It's the 2 Derby winners who look like being first and second. Lester Piggott looks over his shoulder. Blakeney's making ground on him, but Lester's just letting him canter. What a horse this is. He's trotted up. Nijinsky's the winner. Blakeney's second. Krepelana is third. It's Ortis, Mill Reef, Acclimatization and Stintino, but Mill Reef striking the front now as they race towards the furlong pole. It's Mill Reef being chased by Acclimatization and Stintino. They're racing into the final 150 yards, and it's Mill Reef clear of Ortis. Then comes Acclimatization and Stintino, and racing up towards the line, already getting a tremendous reception from the crowd. The Derby winners packed up. It's Mill Reef, the fantastic winner of the King George.
During a golden era for flat racing in the 1970s, the exploits of Brigadier Gerard, the Brigadier, ensured that the colt, trained by Major Dick Hearn for owner and breeder John Hislop and his wife Jean, and ridden by Joe Mercer in the purple and red spotted Hislop silks, commanded an army of admirers. In a career spanning 3 seasons, 1970, 71 and 72, the son of Queen Cesar and a winless mare was successful in 17 out of 18 starts, over a wide variety of distances. All those victories included a memorable staging of the now Kipco-sponsored High Summer, often career-defining championship race, the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Stakes at Ascot in 1972. 50 years on, Brigadier Gerard is the latest recipient of the Kipco Diamonds and Pearls Award, given to commemorate vintage renewals of the race, a high point of flat racing's Kipco British Champion Series. In that year, the Brigadier was up against 4 classic winners in the all-aged encounter and tested for the first time over a mile and a half, and he was made to dig deep to make it 15 successes on the trot by the Irish St Leger winner Parnell.
The Brigadier has taken it up as they hit the furlong pole. It's Brigadier Gerard from Parnell, then comes Steel Polson from a mile towards the near side, but it's Brigadier Gerard from Parnell as they race up towards the line. Brigadier Gerard to make it 15 out of 15. Parnell is second and Riverman is third, and at the line Brigadier Gerard the winner. Parnell is second.
And the result was only confirmed after a lengthy and tense steward's inquiry into interference. Brigadier Gerard had been named after a rather self-important comedic military character created like Sherlock Holmes in stories by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. But in contrast to his namesake, when the horse retired to stud just 3 races after the King George, one of them his sole defeat at York, so ended a seriously brilliant, a legendary career, considered amongst the most genuinely important of the 20th century, and indeed all time, never to be forgotten.
And it's Weaver's Hall in the lead. Weaver's Hall for Ireland from Roberto on the far side. Then comes Scottish Rifle. Hard to Beat's making good progress towards the stand side. And Dahlia coming there with a terrific run now. And it's Dahlia Bill Powers. Bill Powers has rocketed into the lead now on Dahlia. And he's storming up the straight. This filly's established an unassailable lead as she hits the furlong marker. It's Dahlia striding away now from Rheingold in second place. Then comes Weaver's Hall and arm it off. And then comes Scottish Rifle. But racing to the line, Dahlia wins it in tremendous style. In second place, Rheingold.
Only Mill Reef, 2 years before, had won the race by the same margin of 6 lengths.
At the start of her 4-year-old career, Dahlia ran disappointingly, but she showed she had lost none of her ability when winning the Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud in early July, just 20 days before the King George. Ridden by Lester Piggott, she was a warm order to become the first horse to win a second King George. The The field of 9 included the 1,000 guineas and Prix de Diane winner Highclere and Snow Knight, the surprise winner of the Epsom Derby. Dahlia's trainer, Maurice Silbert, also ran a pacemaker, so that Leicester could settle Dahlia in the early stages.
Boy is in third, Dahlia cruising now in fourth. 5 is Connor Pass, 6 is Freefoot, and 7 is Highclere. Behind Highclere is also Maggiore, then Dancaro was one from last, and Card King's last, and they're swinging round into the straight now. And as they do so, it's Hippodamia being pressed by Snow Knight. Behind Snow Knight is Boy. Then comes Dahlia, then Highclere unleashing a run towards the stand side. They're coming to the 2 furlong marker, and Snow Knight has hit the front from Boy, but Dahlia is cruising on the stand side, and it's Snow Knight from Boy and Dahlia, and Highclere trying to get on terms with them, and Dancaro coming there strongly too, but it's Dahlia who's hit the front again. The 1973 winner's gonna win it in 1974. It's Dahlia going clear again, being pressed by Highclere for the Queen. Then comes Dancaro and Boy, but racing up towards the line. Dahlia has it well thrown up from Highclere second, and at the line, Dahlia is the winner, Highclere is second. Lester Piggott returning to a great reception after a really clear-cut triumph by this remarkable filly, and Her Majesty, wherein the runner-up Highclere presents the great trophy to Nelson Bunker Hunt, the owner of Dahlia. They're all in, they're under starters' orders, and they're away. And Bustino himself is one of the first to show, from Grundy on the outside, and then Highest racing up now to take it up from Kinglet. And it's Highest from Kinglet and Bustino, the 3 stable companions, with Star Appeal on the outside of Bustino. Then comes Grundy, then just in behind Grundy is Ashmore, and then Dividale, and then comes Dahlia, then On My Way and Card King. And Libra's Rib is the back marker as they get on towards Swinley Bottom at a really blistering pace, with Highest in the lead, from Kinglet in second and Star Appeal third, and 4 is Bustino, 5 Grundy. 6 on the outside is Ashmore, 7 on the inner, then comes Dahlia, and 8 is Dividale, and then just in behind them come Card King, On My Way, and Libra's Rib, and already they're coming up towards the mile marker at a really blistering gallop still, with Highest going on from Kinglet and Star Appeal, then a gap of 3 lengths to Bustino. Then comes Grundy. Behind Grundy is Ashmore with Dahlia, then Dividale and Card King and On My Way and Libra's Rib, and only 7 furlongs to run now in the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes, and it's Highest in the lead from Kinglet, and then comes Star Appeal, and then Bustino. Behind Bustino is Grundy, then Ashmore, then Dahlia, then Card King, and then Dividale, then Libra's Rib, and On My Way is the back marker of the 11 runners. And now it's Kinglet who's going on. Kinglet from Highest, and then Star Appeal, and then Bustino. Bustino making relentless progress. Back in 5th place is Grundy, but closing with them. And then comes Ashmore, and then Dahlia, and it's Kinglet from Star Appeal now as they race towards the 5 furlong marker and pass it. It's Kinglet in the lead from Star Appeal in second, and Bustino third, and Grundy 4, and 5 Ashmore, and 6 is Dahlia. 7 just behind them, Libra's Rib making good ground towards the outside. Then Card King. Behind Card King is Dividale, then On My Way, and they're past the half-mile marker now and racing towards the home turn, and it's Bustino has gone on from Grundy, and it's Bustino now in the lead from Grundy, the favourite, in second. Then comes Star Appeal third. Dahlia's coming there strongly 4. Behind Dahlia is Ashmore, then Libra's Rib and Card King as they level up for home, and Bustino from Grundy in second, Star Appeal and Dahlia, then Ashmore, then On My Way beginning a run towards the stand side of the 2 furlong marker, and it's Bustino, Joe Mercer being pressed by Pat Emery now. Grundy, then Dahlia in third place as they race towards the furlong pole. It's Bustino and Grundy together. Then comes Dahlia, then On My Way. Bustino on the far side, Grundy on the near side, the 3-year-old and the 4-year-old. They race into the final 150 yards, and it's Grundy going on from Bustino and Dahlia and On My Way. Bustino's fighting his way back, but Grundy's holding him, and as they come to the line, Grundy wins it. Bustino second, Dahlia's third, On My Way 4, Card King 5.
Such a race would have been hard to follow, but in 1976 the King George attracted no less than 5 classic winners. Leading the parade, the Coronation Cup runner-up Ashmore. The strong-willed grey Bruni, a 10-length winner of the St. Leger the previous autumn. The Prince of Wales Stakes winner Record Run. The Irish Derby winner Malacart. French Derby winner Youth. And the first filly to win the English and French Oaks since 1864, Pornic.
And that's it. All 10 are installed for the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes, and they're away. And Bruni's
At the start, Lester Piggott on Bruni lost an arm. Saint-Martin on Pornic set out in front at a fast gallop, leaving the remainder of the field the job of catching her. Close though they came, not one horse managed it.
Behind Dakota, and last is Duke of Marmalade, and swinging around the home turn now in the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes, and it's Pornic in the lead, being pressed by Malacard. Youth has run very wide at the home turn indeed, run practically right off course, coming to the 2 furlong marker now, and it's Pornic being pressed by Malacard. Then comes Dakota with a good run on the stand side, but it's Pornic from Malacard, a 1-2 for France at the moment. Orange Bay putting in a good run, and Grundy coming there with a strong challenge now, but it's still Pornic from Malacard as they race into the final 150 yards. Pornic from Malacard, and then comes Orange Bay and Grundy, and Dakota right over on the stand side, and Dakota coming there on the stand side with a tremendous challenge, but Pornic is going to hold him at the line. Pornic the winner from Grundy and Orange Bay.
Pornic became the 4th filly to win the King George, following Aunt Edith, Park Top and Dahlia.
And they've just got 3.5 furlongs to run now. They're racing towards the home turn, and it's still Mark Lane and Edward Hyde from Lucky Wednesday in second, Orange Bay. Then comes Bruni. Behind Bruni is Trainer's Seat. Then the Minstrel making ground with Crystal Palace. 2.5 furlongs to run in the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes. And it's Mark Lane being pressed by Orange Bay. Here comes the Minstrel unleashing a run towards the right of the picture with Bruni upsides. Then Crystal Palace and Excella behind him. They're racing towards the furlong pole now, and it's Orange Bay who strikes the front. It's Orange Bay now from the Minstrel. Excella putting in a great run towards the stand side. It's Orange Bay being tackled by the Minstrel and Excella. And as they race into the closing stages, it's the Minstrel from Orange Bay and Excella racing up towards the line. The Minstrel from Orange Bay and Excella. And as they come to the line, the Minstrel Excella is third, and 4 Crystal Palace. Norfolk Air, Mark Lane and Lucky Wednesday and Bruni behind them. Trainer Seat and Crow and last Profissimo. Officially it's a photo.
Fitted with blinkers for the first time, Orange Bay had stayed on to the line. The crowd were undecided and rushed to see who returned as the winner. The Minstrel had won, but only a short head separated them at the finish. Vincent O'Brien had trained the winner of the King George for the 3rd time to equal the newly retired Sir Noel Merlis. Just 3 weeks after the King George, it was announced that a half share in the Minstrel had been sold back to his breeder E.P. Taylor for $4,100,000. 4 partners, headed by Robert Sangster, had bought the Minstrel at America's Keeneland July sale 2 years before for $200,000. For Lester Piggott, it was his 6th King George. His nearest rivals, Poincelet, Paz and Saint-Martin, had ridden 2 each.
All installed, they're under starter's orders, and they're away. Field of Bourbon from Agamas, John Reed from Yves Saint-Martin. Yves Saint-Martin coming with a great challenge, it's too late, Field of Bourbon wins it. Comes Troy, and then Swiss Maid, then Gamersen. Behind Gamersen, or on the outside of Gamersen, rather, is Elamanamu, and then Blanchon, and going a good pace down towards Swinley Bottom. Road to Glory, the pacemaker of Troy, about 2 to 3 lengths clear now of Telescopico. Then comes Troy back in third, then Swiss Maid, then Elamanamu, then Gamersen, and finally Blanchon. Still Road to Glory, making it, and Brian Proctor, his first ride in the King George and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes, making it a good pace from Telescopico. Elamanamu now goes third, Troy is 4, Swiss Maid is 5, and Gamersen 6 and 7, and last is Molson, and they're just coming up to the mile pole. Road to Glory in the lead from Telescopico and Elamanamu. Then Troy, then Swiss Maid, then Gamersen, and then Molson. They're racing towards the 7 marker now, and it's still Road to Glory from Telescopico, then Elamanamu, then Troy, then Swiss Maid, then Gamersen, and then comes Molson. And they're passing the 7 mark now, making towards the 6, and it's still Road to Glory in the lead from Telescopico and Elamanamu. Then Troy, behind Troy comes Swiss Maid, then Gamersen on the inside, going smoothly, and last is Molson. They're coming past the 6 marker now, and it's still Road to Glory by 2 lengths from Telescopico, who has a 2.5 length advantage over Elamanamu, who's 2 lengths up on Troy, who's a 1.5 lengths up on Swiss Maid. Then comes Gamersen and Molson, and they're passing the 5 marker now, and it's still Road to Glory in the lead. From in second place, Telescopico, then comes Elamanamu, then Troy, behind Troy is Swiss Maid, then Gamersen making a little ground on the inside, and then comes Lolchen, who's last, but they're grouping as they come to the home turn now, and well inside the final half mile. It's Road to Glory from Telescopico. Then comes Elamanamu, then Troy making ground towards the outside, then Lolchen and Swiss Maid and Game of Sen as they turn for home now, and it's still Road to Glory, the pacemaker in the lead from Telescopico, Troy and Elamanamu, and Swiss Maid nearly lost her footing there around the home turn. It's still Road to Glory in the lead, but Elamanamu coming to challenge, and Troy on the right of the picture being traced by Game of Sen. They're coming down now to the furlong pole, and it's Elamanamu being challenged by Troy and Elamanamu. Then comes Game of Sen for France as they race to the inside the final furlong. It's Troy who's taken it up now from Elamanamu, with Game of Sen putting in a great challenge towards the strand side, but it's Troy and Willie Castle striding up to victory towards the line. They're being pressed by Game of Sen, but they've got it sewn up, and Troy has won it from Game of Sen second and Elamanamu third. Fourth was Lolchen, behind him came Telescopico and Road to Glory, and Swiss Maid was last, and so the result of the 29th running of the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes is first number 9, Troy, owned by Sir Michael Sobel and Sir Arnold Weinstock, trained by Dick Hearn and ridden by Willie Carson. Second was number 1, Game of Sen, owned by Mr. Jacques Wertheimer, trained by Alec Head and ridden by Freddie Head. And third was number 7, Elamanamu, owned by Mrs. Audrey Munoz, trained by Guy Harwood and ridden by Greville Starkey. Fourth was number 3, Lolchen. So Troy completes the great trio. He's 9-4 with Corals for the Arc de Triomphe, 3-1 with Ladbrokes for the Arc de Triomphe, 3-1 with the Tote for the Arc de Triomphe. Here's how he won the 1979 running of this great King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes, as we see it again with Julian Wilson.
And he did it really well. You can see the sods flying as they come in the straight, although it wasn't watered again last night, and the pacemakers led into the straight, so it hasn't been that fast a pace. And Willie's delayed his challenge much longer today on Troy than he did in Ireland at least. At this point, you can see he's still got Elamanamu to go and pick up. He's got a length to make up, and Freddie Head's making his run on the outside on Game of Sen from one back. He only had one behind him half a mile out, and it's just about this point there that Game of Sen stumbles. You can see Freddie Head almost lost everything there. He certainly lost his stride, although in fact he's pulled his whip through there, and he didn't lose more than half a length. But Willie's gone for home now. He's gone quickly a couple of lengths clear from Elamanamu, who held him just for about 50 yards, but no more. And now Freddie Head's making ground on the runner-up. But remember, this is the best middle-distance three-year-old in France on the evidence of his last run. And Willie hasn't had to be too hard on Troy at all. He's probably hasn't given him more than a slap down the neck, in fact. He's coasted home in the last 50 yards, although Game of Sen was closing on him. But although Game of Sen may have been a little unlucky to stumble, it certainly didn't affect the result.